In the previous tutorial we have learned how to do routing, and now if we want to go to the home, we can go to the home and we can go to the categories. Products we will define later, but first we need to change this HTML. We need to create a table where our categories will be displayed. And also, first thing that I want to do, first I will close all. What we want to do now, let's go to the category list TS. What we will need here, let's create category list, and it will be category array. And we will initialize it as an empty array. It will be all for now. And now let's open category list HTML. Now let's create our page. The class will be container, margin top 5, and let's give it margin bottom. 100 pixels will be enough. And let's create another div. It will be text center, and the color will be primary. And we will also give to this div margin bottom 5. And let's open h2 tag. We will just type category list. It should be working. Yes, this is great. And now, first let's create one button. We will use that button to add categories. And let's give it a class. It can be button info. And we will give it margin bottom 4 to separate it from the table. We will add some click event later. And now we can create a table for categories. First let's create table head, and we can, to this table we can give it a class, will be table, and we will add some more classes later. Inside table head, let's create table row, and in the table header, let's see, in the category class we have only category ID and name. I will create a field for category ID and one for name, and also one for actions. That will be good. And also we need a table body. I have opened a table. It's not proper tag. I need a t body. And inside this t body, first what we will need to do, we need to iterate over category list and then to display them. And in order to iterate over a list, we need to create ng template. And inside this ng template we need to define definition ng4. We want to iterate over all categories and display them one by one. It is similar when we used, if you watch my time live tutorials, th each. This is similar. ng4 but I will just type like this, ng4. I will define, the name will be temp category. This will be a let temp category. Temp category will be the name of array of categories. And here we will type ng4 of, we need the name of the array. Now if we type categories, we will find the error. Why we have the error? Because we don't have categories. We have category list. And if we type category list, the error will gone. Now we will iterate over this array. And now we can create table row. And now let's create table td. And how we gonna display? We will do it like this. We will type temp category.category ID, and we will do the same for name. And we need one more extra for actions, but for this we will just type under construction. I want to display all categories first, then I will define it all. Now I want to see how it looks like. We have category list. Here is the button, but the problem is category list is empty. Why is this category list empty? It's simple, because we have defined by default empty category list. And there is nothing inside this array. And we don't want to add anything manually. If we go back to the database, select star for categories, we have 3 categories, and we can also go back to the raster and let's type API categories, all categories. We will see 3 categories. Okay, and we want to display these categories in our front. We need to access to this REST API, and we want to display it. How to do it? First thing, let me clear the screen. And now, to do that, we will need a help of Axios. We will need to install Axios. We need to type npm install Axios. This is one of the ways how can you access to the REST API, and we will use it. npm install Axios. Let's click enter. Everything is working fine. And now we need to go to category service. Classes, components, services, here is category service. First, here below imports, we need to define one var, and this will be string. I forgot to give it a name, target URL. I will type it like this, target URL equals, and I want to type URL of the category controller, and the API is http localhost 8080 API categories. I will try to paste it. API categories, and let's paste it here. Okay, we have with the slash in the end. We have defined our target URL. And now what we need to do, we need to define a function. We want to have a function we can call it collect all categories. And what we want to do now, we want to access to this REST API. We will use this target URL. Let's type Axios get. We are using get because, for example, as you can see in the raster, to access all categories, we are using get method. And now inside, let's type, I will use backtick, it is easier. And we can use this target URL. This is a URL of the category controller. And we need also a method name. We have a slash in the end here. So now we need the name of the method. It's all categories. I didn't add a slash because I have it here at the end. But I just want to return this. This is just a promise. We are calling Axios to get to this URL, but this is nothing else than promise. But we want to return this promise. We will just return promise, and we will resolve it in when we need this promise, we will call it in some component, and we will resolve it there. But for now, in the category service, it will be just a promise. We will return it, which is good for now. And now let's go to the category list component. We need to define a function. I will call it list all categories. And also we will need a constructor, because we will need category service here, private category service, and let's import category service. And I forgot body, and I also forgot a body here. Now it's good. And now let's define this list all categories function. Now let's call collect all categories function from the category service. This dot category service collect all categories. But as I explained it earlier, this is nothing else but a promise. Now we will need to resolve this promise. To resolve it, we need to type then, and let's define a response. And inside, what can we type? We can redefine this category list. We can set timeout first. Then let's redefine this category list. This category list equals to response dot data. And now what we want to do? We will access to our REST API, and in response we want to redefine our category list, and we will take the response data, and that will be, I think that will be good. But now, for example, if we want to refresh, no, it's refreshed, but nothing will change. But we have defined list all categories function, but nothing has been changed. It's the simple answer. We have only defined a function but we didn't call it. We will need, like you know already from the JavaScript, we will need some function similar to window unload, or even better, like in the jQuery document ready, and that's the function that we need. But we will not use jQuery document ready because we have on init interface from Angular, and we will use it. This category list component we will implement interface on init. Let me find it. I'm not finding it. Okay, let's see. We have imported on init. Yes, that's good. But we have error. The error is because we have implemented this interface on init, but we didn't implement the method ng on init. And if we type on the quick fix here, let's implement, and you will see this method which will resolve the problem. But if we go here, we will just have warning that this method is not implemented. Let's implement this method. This is the similar function like we have in the jQuery document ready. And let's delete this error, and we will just call list all categories. Let's use this dot list all categories. And we will just save it. And now we will see what will gonna happen. And still nothing has been changed, and we have a problem. The problem is cross origin request blocked. The same, okay. We have a cross origin problem, and that's the problem. That problem is in the back. In our backend, we need to allow cross origin. We can do it in the multiple ways. Let's go, and of course our application is working normally. We don't have any problem, but the only thing that we need to do is to allow origins. We can do it in a different ways, but this is simple application. Let's go to the controller, category controller. This is a simple application, and we will do it in the easiest way. In the both controllers, we will allow origins in the simple way with just one annotation. We need a cross origin annotation, and the value will be just 1 star. And if we save it, this will allow all the origins for category controller, and I will do the same. I will just copy it here, and I will do the same in the product controller. Okay, the application will restart again because I changed the product controller too. I will just wait for the application to restart, and we will try again. And let's refresh it. And how about that? Here are our categories, which is great. We have displayed all categories from our REST API, which is great. Perfect. And we just need to give a style to this table. I will just return. Now we can go to the category list component.html. And I will give some extra classes to this table. It will be table bordered, table hover, table stripped, and I will give you, let's try with dark color, and I will give also ID. I will need it for later. A listing table will be ID. You will see why I need ID. Let's see how it looks like now. Now it's a little bit better, but let me change this table head a little. I will give it table primary to have primary color. It's better, but now I don't like now this white. Let me try with text dark to see how it will gonna reflect. Now it's okay. It's better. This looks good. Our table is working, and that will be all for now. We have displayed all categories from our REST API successfully. If you have some problems with this, please write a comment in the comment section, and we will continue in the next tutorial. We have still a lot of work to do.